you're ready to make the most of it. Make sense of your money with Citizens. Learn more at citizensbank.com/made-ready.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
The numbers are staggering, and this is why it was an incredible weekend of campaigning for one Donald J. Trump, former president, hopes to be number 47. And this is thanks to ICE, and these numbers have been reconfirmed this morning because some in the so-called mainstream media want to question the numbers that were released Friday afternoon. And it's concerning. 15,000 illegal immigrants, I say in air quotes, currently living among us. These are convicted or accused of murder. The numbers are just mind-boggling. And this at the same moment that Vice President Kamala Harris was traveling to the southern border in a big photo op that lasted all of 20 minutes as she went to Arizona. And by all accounts, there were some in the media saying, well, she's perceived as being weak on this issue. You think? Perceived? So U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement providing this data to Representative Tony Gonzalez, who's a Republican from Texas, and then he published it, okay? But these are official numbers, and they're reconfirmed. If you want to check for yourself, these numbers are real. I wish they were not real. But he's saying that as of July, late July, 662,566 non-citizens with criminal histories. I mean, basically 3/4 of a million people with criminal histories, convictions we're talking about. And they're on the national docket. And if you look at the total number of the convicted, more than 13,000 convicted, and then a few thousand more accused. So that number, if you combine it, you're talking about 15,000 either convicted or accused, most of them convicted killers, and they caught them, intercepted them, and then under this administration, because I guess we're a sanctuary country, I don't even understand it, but under this administration, Biden-Harris, these individuals were re-released, even though they're supposed to be deported. And so it's like, well, we know you'll be honest about it. When we call your number, we're going to deport you. This is insanity. And so Trump at his rally, the latest rally in Erie, Pennsylvania, it was yesterday afternoon, and he was speaking there. Dave McCormick, the Republican senatorial candidate, with him. He calls McCormick up on the stage. And so I just want you to, as the backdrop, understand that on this issue alone, this is why Trump won in 2016 on this issue. And so there's really, to me, there's no other issue. And you think about the hot mess of our country. You think about what's going on with six southern states right now, underwater, flooded. And we have hundreds of people missing. We have nearly 100 dead with the death toll rising. Where is this administration? And we hear the lame statement from the White House releasing it saying, well, as soon as it's safe for President Biden to travel there, he'll be there sometime later this week. That's this administration, the lame duck. It's not just Biden. Because if you're the VP, if you're the vice president, and by the way, if you're the one that's the candidate and you want the job, aren't you there? Weren't you there all weekend and saying, hey, I'm not campaigning. I'm stopping all the campaign because I want to be with the people of North Carolina. I want to roll my sleeves up and maybe take off my 62 grand, 18 karat gold Tiffany beautiful necklace. Maybe I'm going to take off the jewelry, roll my sleeves up, and walk with the people as they're suffering. And also, what do you need? How can we help? What about the crews? By the way, rescue first responders from across the nation, including from our region here, have already gone. They're there. And some of them fear that it's going to be more of a recovery mission rather than a rescue mission. Where's Vice President Harris? Where is Harris? If she's not in the South right now, shame on her. But where was she? This thing hit Thursday night. And what was she doing? She was planning her trip. She was in hair and makeup longer, by the way. She was in hair and makeup with wardrobe longer than she was at the border in Arizona for that ridiculous photo op, which is an insult to all of us. The data is staggering. It's concerning. And I didn't even give you all the numbers. I think just the killers, convicted rapists, convicted pedophiles. Oh, my goodness. So let's get to some audio. Let's listen in. This is Trump, and I believe, Dan, this is where Trump is giving the introduction to Dave McCormick, and this is gracious, right?
We're winning in Pennsylvania, and the main thing that we have to do is we have to get out the vote. We have to get out the vote, because if we lose this election, we are going to have a problem with this country, the likes of which I think no country has ever faced before. Here in Pennsylvania, you also need to vote for your next senator, and he's a great guy. I've known him for a long time. He's a winner in the military. He's a winner in life. He's got a fantastic wife and family, and I'm telling you, he's a warrior. He was a warrior in the military. He then goes into private practice, and he made a lot of money. He ran one of the biggest firms, and did really great, respected so much beyond this, and he just wanted to do something, I would say, for the country and for Pennsylvania, because, you know, Pennsylvania to the country, but he loves his country, he loves the Commonwealth. And Dave McCormick, just come up for a second, would you, Dave? Come on up.
Big applause. And so Dave McCormick, needs to key in on what Trump just talked about. And so you'll hear a little bit of McCormick, but before you do, just think about it. If you're McCormick, you need to say, hey, I want to take all the experience that I had in the United States military, in a leadership position as a captain, but as well then going into private enterprise, and I want to take that experience in the private sector. I'm an outsider. Right, that's what I expected to hear him say. I'm the outsider. I'm somebody who, yes, I fought for my country. I fought for you, combat veteran, by the way. But now I want to fight for you in different ways, and I want to bring that experience as an outsider, as somebody who has attained success in the private sector, and I want to bring that experience as a senator to represent you in Pennsylvania to try to fix all that's wrong with our nation, and then go into it. Talk about the economy, talk about jobs, talk about fracking, talk about the border issue and these criminals, convicted killers and rapists and pedophiles that have been allowed to come in our country. Talk about all of that. So let's listen in now to Senate candidate, Republican Dave McCormick.
All right. Thank you, Mr. President. And hello, Erie. How are you? You know, I just wanted to say, Mr. President, thank you for coming back to the Keystone State. This is the place where we're going to retire Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and send you back to the White House, right here in Pennsylvania. Right here. This state, right here in Erie. Erie, the bellwether, right here. And this is also where we're going to have the chance to fire a guy named Bob Casey. Bob Casey is weak. He's weak, he's a career politician, he's liberal, and we got to send him packing and bring a Republican majority to the Senate to get the Trump agenda across the finish line.
So you tell me, 855-839-1210. Let's create a suggestion box, because to me, if you're coming out of the box, you have this incredible introduction. And although I know he's trying to be gracious and say to Trump, you know, thank you, and hello, Erie, how you doing? Okay, delete that off of there.
Get it out.
I know. I'm just trying to say you have a moment, and Trump doesn't give the stage to many people. Remember, he gave it to Vivek one time, and he's like, all right,
Yeah.
Move over, kiddo.
Yep.
So you have this golden opportunity. You have a huge crowd. You have a huge platform. Get to business and tell the people of Pennsylvania why they need to get out and vote for you. And by the way, you need to say, a lot of you hunters, it's hunting season. And I've spent years hunting with my dad here in Pennsylvania. We've got a real problem here with our gun owners in Pennsylvania because guess what? You're not registered to vote. We got 500,000 of you who are not registered to vote.
It's crazy.
I want to
me.
protect your Second Amendment right. I will do that in the Senate. And if I lose, let me tell you something. My opponent, Bob Casey, is not, he wants to take your guns away from you. That's the kind of thing he needs to say.
Why are we not outside Cabela's registering voters? It's
Thank you.
crazy to me that there are people, hunters out there that aren't voting. It's nuts.
It's very concerning. But Dave McCormick, all due respect here, get out there and boom, get right to the job. You're in a job interview. You have this prime moment. The light is shining on you. Get right to business and tell people why you're applying for this job make sure you know that you let everybody know you are a political outsider. You're not a career politician. You've never been a politician. And this is why you want to get into this, right? And talk about your wife, Dina. Talk about the fact that, yeah, we are blessed with 5 daughters among us. We're blessed with success. Dina worked for Trump. Whatever you want to say, but I needed to hear more. And so don't give me what I call a Frisbee, kind of a generic campaign statement. Give me the details and give me the reason as a Pennsylvania voter to be inspired, energized, and go out there and vote.
It does continue on, and it does turn around a little bit, but I don't know if it suffices to your degree of what you want to hear. Take a listen.
My friends, this, for our kids, for our grandkids, this is the most important election of our lifetimes right here.
Why? Tell me why.
I'll tell you. It's not that
And it's a
enthusiastic,
race.
though.
It's a race between strength, a guy who says fight, 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 and weakness, the weakness of Kamala Harris. It's a race between common sense policies and a radical liberal agenda. You don't have to listen to me. This is a woman who said, in her own words, we want to ban fracking. We want to transition energy workers. We want to give amnesty to 10 million illegal immigrants. We want to make sure they have federal benefits. We want to have mandatory buybacks of your guns.
See? Look at the reaction they get
We want to
with Second
defund
Amendment.
the police. And how about this? We want to reduce your red meat consumption, right?
Yeah, that's it. Get to the red meat of the issue. I think.
Literally.
So I just think, I know that he's
Well, not
talking
literally.
about top of the ticket, but he has to say, you can't always campaign on, the opponents and so on. You have to say, I'm applying for a job and I appreciate you. This is what I'm going to do as a United States Senator. This is what I'm going to ensure. This is what I bring to the table. I'm humbly asking you for your vote. So I just want to hear more of those details and, let Trump talk about the vice president. That's just my advice.
You want one more cut? Because
Sure.
you guys kind of get into the details a little
Okay,
more, yeah.
let's hear.
We need common sense leadership. It's common sense. We need a leader who's going to open up our energy sector, that pure, beautiful natural gas from Pennsylvania right here, President Trump.
A little more energy now, right?
We need leadership to tame. We got to tame this inflation and help working families with President Trump. We need to bring law and order to our cities, and we need to secure that border and stop these illegal immigrants coming in and bringing crime and fentanyl into Pennsylvania. And most important, our adversaries around the world are testing us. They're challenging us every day. We need peace through strength that we only will get if we get President Trump back in the White House and a majority in the Senate.
Okay, this is good. It took a little bit to pivot to that, but that's the important part. That when you think about, and that's why it's important that he says, I'm applying for a job in the Senate, but it's important that I talk about the current vice president who has been in office for 3 years and 8 months, because her tie-breaking vote established many things that have been bad for America. And so he has to talk about the role of Vice President Harris, but as well, think about the Senate, think about Chucky Schumer, think about their policies, and what happens if Republicans take back the Senate and then can support President Trump at the top of the ticket. You see what I'm saying? He just needs to, I'm just saying, you need to follow through with that and paint a picture for people as to how it all works and what part he will play in that. That's my take.
Great point.
I'm just trying to, give some friendly advice.
He almost turned it around there, and you do have some more energy halfway through.
A little more energy.
It's
that
short
was
amount
good.
of time because, the President Trump needs as much time to speak as possible when he comes to something like this, and that's what people are there to see. But you're right. Lead off with this kind of stuff. He sounded like he was a little nervous, stumbling over some words at first, and like I'm doing now. But I guess that happens when you're standing in front of Trump. But you're right. Hit the issues.
He knows them. Here's the thing. If you think that in front of Trump you have to suck up to him, you're wrong. That's wrong. What Trump wants you to do, Trump just teed you up. He doesn't need you to suck up to him because you've already sucked up to him enough, right, in person. That's okay. You don't have to do that. Believe me. What he wants you to do, he teed it up for you. Knock it out of the park.
Yep.
So we just need you to tighten it up a little bit. I'm just so you give me. You tell me, am I right here? Am I wrong? What advice do you have to Dave McCormick, who's running for the Senate? And by the way, let's be equal. What advice do you have for Senator Bob Casey? He's been in there forever. He's a career politician. Whether you love him, whether you hate him, what advice do you have for Bob Casey? He seems to be hiding. We rarely hear from him. And that's what's scary. We rarely hear from the guy, and he's ahead. It's a virtual tie in the polls, but he's basically ahead.
That's great, David. So get out. Dave McCormick, great guy. You got to get him in. He'll be a tremendous asset, tremendous help to you and to everybody.
There it is, DJT. So we'll talk about that. Get your calls, 855-839-1210. We've got a great mom, local mom, was a Democrat, now is voting as a Republican, and she's a mama bear. She's a fighter, so she's coming up at the bottom of the hour. We have so much to update you on. Be right back.
Come on, the peace train. It's peace train.
This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. You may know me from my book, Money Hacks. You may know me from my radio shows. And you may even know me from some of these commercials. But listen, I'm teaching stuff that people need to learn about money. In fact, my favorite topic is money. So go to investorschooling.com and you will learn things about money that you never even knew existed. We will teach you things about real estate, about the stock market, and about how to use your IRAs properly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of hearing about the recession that's coming? Are you prepared for it? Well, listen, at investorschooling.com, we're going to teach you ways to prepare for the recession that you didn't even know existed. We're going to teach you strategies on how to use real estate. We're going to teach you strategies how to use the stock market properly. That's right, you can even make money in the stock market when the stock market goes down. Hey, go to investorschooling.com and register for a free class this Thursday night, and you will learn all of these techniques. Go to investorschooling.com right now, RSVP for this Thursday. We'll see you there.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie. Tune in to Your Radio Doctor every Saturday afternoon at 5 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT for the latest healthcare news and information, because your health is your wealth. That's Your Radio Doctor, Saturdays at 5.
Your 401k goes up and down. That's fine when you're 40, but not when you're 60. Find out how to protect your hard-earned money. Tune in to the Retirement Spectrum with Alan Cohen, Saturdays at 3 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Window Nation presents the 1210 WPHT Veteran Spotlight in partnership with the Travis Manion Foundation. Listen the first Wednesday of every month as Kale and Company shines a spotlight on a local veteran, highlighting their remarkable commitment to the community and their exceptional service in the military. Presented by Window Nation. At Window Nation, there's nothing more important than giving back to the communities we serve. For all of your window and door needs, visit windownation.com. That's windownation.com.
Guess what, people? Wendy's has new saucy nugs. You heard me. Wendy's nugs now come in 7 saucy flavors. Buffalo, honey barbecue, garlic parm, spicy ghost pepper. You can literally hear your taste buds after every bite. I'm serious. Listen to mine. Okay, that's just me playing with sound effects. For a whole new way to nug, gotta be Wendy's. Open till midnight or later.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, hours may vary by location.
It's not just about watching the game. It's about betting on it. I'm Mike Valeni, and on Cash the Ticket, Jim Costa and I break down every college football and NFL matchup like it's the last game we're ever going to watch. From the best bets to the sneaky underdogs, and of course, as my co-host likes to say, the value. And the one thing we're not going to do is pretend we're professionals. We have fun with it. It's an entertainment product, and it makes watching games a hell of a lot of fun. So Cash the Ticket. Follow it in the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
For more expert appliance shopping advice, here's National Appliance Warehouse's own appliance guru.
Hello, let's talk premium. These are the top-of-the-line appliances that dream kitchens are made of. If you're planning an investment like this in your home, where you buy is as important as what you buy. At National Appliance Warehouse, we're committed to delivering the superior buying experience you deserve. Our showroom features beautifully displayed premium appliances of every major brand, including highly sought-after Sub-Zero, Wolf, and Cove. Our team of gurus is well-versed at guiding you as you navigate the same appliances you'd find in the most magnificent homes and kitchens of cooking enthusiasts. And the National Appliance Warehouse team has the expertise to properly deliver and install your stunning new appliances.
Fall into incredible savings now at National Appliance Warehouse. Purchase a qualifying Sub-Zero, Wolf, and Cove appliance package and choose 3 years of additional warranty or a rebate up to $2,500. Click nationalappliancewarehouse.com or visit their showroom in tax-free Wilmington today.
You might need a rake. It's the Fall into Savings sale at Colonial Marble and Granite, where prices are falling like foliage. Now get 20% off fully installed countertops priced at $19.99 with no money down and 0% interest for 18 months. Visit any Colonial showroom to take advantage of these and other great values. But hurry, sale ends November 4th. Restrictions apply. Visit colonialmarble.net for details.
This is Jordan Lundy.
And this is Len Lundy. Lundy Law has won billions for our clients.
But more importantly, we've won the trust and confidence of thousands of people injured in motor vehicle crashes, slip and fall accidents, and work-related injuries.
My son and I hope we never meet you because of an accident. But if we do, we're here for you.
Remember our name, Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Call 1-800-LUNDY-LAW or visit lundylaw.com for a free consultation.
Hey, did you hear? Wawa has classic hoagies for just $6.
Any classic hoagie?
Yeah, any classic hoagie.
What about the cheesesteak?
$6.
Meatball?
$6.
What about the Italian hoagie?
It's $6 for a classic. I shouldn't even have to ask, but what do you want for lunch?
Hoagies at Wawa, of course.
Right now, get any Wawa classic hoagie for $6. Gotta have a Wawa.
Free speech in Philly on Odyssey's #1 talk station. Talk Radio 1210. WPHT.
So I asked for your calls, your thoughts on the rally yesterday. Huge crowd and going crazy over everything that Trump was saying. Maybe you had a little advice for Dave McCormick. We're 35 days out from a huge election, and this, as Vice President Harris obviously was in Arizona, and then I believe she was still out, she stayed out west. She was in, was it Vegas? I believe she was still out west campaigning over the weekend. But let's get to your calls. 855-839-1210. Hey, Charlie in Philadelphia.
How you doing? I have to stop listening to your radio station. I mean, between you guys in the morning and you with the looting and the shootings and the looting, the shootings, and the border, and all these people are letting in. I just don't understand how this president doesn't get impeached for that border. Don't they, when they're sworn in, swear that they'll uphold the protection and the sovereignty of America and its borders? And I mean, even if they don't have the votes to impeach the guy, at least the Republicans could keep pushing it and put it in the news, because most people don't know what's going on. The average person, like if I talk to some old lady or old guy at church or something, I'm saying old, I'm 69, so I'm, if people just don't know it. If they don't listen to things like your venue, they don't know what's going on. They watch ABC News, you know what I mean? They're not reporting this stuff, and They just have no idea. They look at you, well, Trump, he's a liar. Where do you get that? Well, they say they watch CNN or something. They keep hearing he's a liar. So what did he lie about? He kept his promise about stopping the border, building a wall. He kept his promise with putting tariffs on Chinese goods. He made us energy independent. What did he lie about? Well, they don't know it. You know what I mean? They just keep repeating the same mantra over and over and over to each other. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And they have nothing to even argue with you about, but they're still going to vote for Harris just because she's the puppet of Biden. You know what I mean? Or whoever's running Biden even.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's sickening, but I hope we get enough people to actually wake up and see what's going on, because if not, like Trump says, this country's done. It's in a lot of trouble if something doesn't happen. I mean, you can't go on like this. When like he said, you go in a store, you can't even. You have to ask somebody if you want a bottle of aspirin or something, because everything's locked up. I asked the girl, why are you locking up certain stuff that's not worth? They said anything they can steal and resell on the street is what we got to lock up. That's what she said to me.
Yeah,
we got to keep locked up, because it's just like unbelievable, and you can't do nothing about it.
Well, that's just
I don't know. They're gonna let you come in their house and steal whatever they want and not prosecute them. I mean, what is the end of this nonsense? You know?
Yes, it's. I don't get it, because and that's why I say, to me, and even, Vice President Kamala Harris, when you think about, she was the one, and she put it out on social media that she proudly cast that tie-breaking vote to pass the ironically named Inflation Reduction Act. And so they claimed, this administration claimed, that they were going to reduce inflation. Well, how's that going for you, America?
Yeah.
That's really, and that's just it, that it was 50-50. She cast the deciding vote. And so that right there in the Senate is why it's important. It should be important. I would think that people would care about the balance of the Senate. Who's going to do what as a senator? I think it's really simple. And that's just it. People keep looking at all the distracting issues that don't impact your life. We have to really stick to, what are these individuals going to do? They're applying for a job. And what are they going to do on the job? What are they going to do for you? That's the question you've got to ask. So we have to take another break, because we do have a great interview coming up. Local Mama Bear, her latest piece. What is she talking about here in Pennsylvania? You want to hear from her. And, man, we have so much to talk about, and I appreciate all of your input. Seriously, best audience. We're so interactive here. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT. I know this Friday, by the way, or this Saturday, I should say, October 5th, I'm going to Butler, Pennsylvania. We got to get a group together.
Ooh.
It's going to be a huge rally in Butler, Pennsylvania.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And remember that former President Trump, I have to say that because Jimmy's listening. Jimmy Matthews is listening, so I want to be proper. But
we're really playing by his rules now.
Well, technically, I won't get it.
I know,
But in any event, he's returning as he promised to honor the man killed that day. And so it was an assassination attempt of a former U.S. president, but it really was a murder scene, was it not, of our great former fire chief, Corey Comparator, who just thought about saving the life of his wife and daughters and was a hero. So we'll all be there to rally on the Comparator. Remember, his daughter, at least one of his daughters, had posted and said, I want you to know my dad's name. He died a hero. And so it's important to the family that we remember them, and as well to other patriots who were critically injured. So we'll talk about that. I want to know if you're going, and we want to talk about this big road trip coming up this weekend. Speaking of road trips, because it's a beautiful time, as October 1st is tomorrow, fall road trips. You see the beautiful change of the season. Well, my friends at Piazza Premium Automobiles, they're going to help you find that luxury vehicle you've been eyeing. You've earned it. Now go get it with a little help from my friends at Piazza. You know, they have thousands, right now, they have thousands of new as well as certified pre-owned vehicles from brands such as Mercedes-Benz, Land Rover, Jaguar, Maserati, BMW, Porsche, Alfa Romeo, and more. Just visit them, PiazzaPremiumAutomobiles.com. You can stop by one of their many Pennsylvania, Delaware, or New Jersey dealers. PIAZZA, PiazzaPremiumAutomobiles.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
See Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra at Cherokee High School in Marlton, New Jersey, Saturday, October 26th. It's the story of Philadelphia sports put to music.
Oh, I thought it was awesome. It was funny and like great band. His imitation of the Bee Gees.
The stylistics and stuff, I just love that.
Oh, it was great. This is the third time we've seen him. He's awesome.
I can relate to Joe Conklin. Great variety. There was something for everyone.
That's Conklin with City Rhythm at Cherokee High School in Marlton, New Jersey, Saturday, October 26th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com!
Before I went to law school, I worked for the telephone company and was a card-carrying member of CWA and AFL-CIO. Unions play a powerful role in protecting workers' rights. I spent a lot of time in union halls building this firm 30 years ago. We represented many union members and workers, and I call many across the country my brothers and sisters. If you ever need our help, we're just a call away. There's only one Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Honey, I'm going to Wawa for dinner.
Okay, but Ben wants pizza.
Yep.
And Nick wants a burger and fries.
Right.
Oh, and the twins? They won't touch anything except for mac and cheese.
Exactly. Wawa has something for everyone for dinner, so I only have to make one stop to make everyone happy. So, what do you want?
Well, if you're going to Wawa, I have to have a hoagie.
From burgers to hoagies and everything in between, Wawa has dinner for everyone.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by calling 844-300-LEAF to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water, and it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty, so you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Call Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate and to save up to 30%. Dial 844-300-LEAF. That's 844-300-LEAF.
The back-to-school savings event is here at Hessert Chevrolet. Drive away in a 2024 Trax 2RS at $298 for 36 months. Or electrify your commute in a 2024 Equinox LS at $249 for 24 months. Enjoy top-rated customer service and unbeatable deals. Don't wait. These offers won't last. Experience the difference at Hessert Chevrolet, Philadelphia's trusted Chevy dealer. Check us out at HessertChevy.com. Call 267-343-9094 for details.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Cause mama, I'm coming home. I'm coming
I love mama bears. I'm one of them. I'm a minivan driving Pennsylvania mama bear.
You have a minivan?
Oh, yeah.
How did I not know this? You seem like an SUV kind of person.
No, it's great because when you're in car line, you think about it, whether it's sports or in the morning with school.
Yeah.
And that sliding door just kind of slides open. And you suddenly become like a pilot, like ready to, like, you could just slow down, drop off the kids. Just like, jump!
Seatbelts fastened.
But we
Take off in
minivan.
about 3 minutes. 3 minutes. We are coasting to the front of the neighborhood.
And that's just it. I think that's, you're a mama bear first. Politics and everything else comes second. And I met so many moms and parents and grandparents too, but especially mama bears here in Pennsylvania and New Jersey who really felt like the pandemic rocked all of our world. And for some, the aftermath was, hey, I don't like a particular, the policies of maybe a party that I was affiliated with in the past. We have evolving parties right now, and we've seen huge shifts, which coincides, if you look at this, coincides with times of great invention as well. So that's a whole other story. But you think about this as a local mama bear. she actually took on, court cases. Bucks County mom. One headline was that, she beat then Attorney General Josh Shapiro in state Supreme Court, fighting for her kids. That's the focus here. I want to welcome in Jamie Cohen Walker, Bucks County mom, who is a longtime, local resident in the suburbs, former certified reading specialist, and now a stay-at-home mom with 3 young children. But COVID, I just want to, for the background of it, Jamie, welcome in. And COVID really changed all of our lives, but I think opened our eyes to some things. Am I right here?
Oh, definitely. Thank you for having me again.
Yeah, thanks for being here. And you've written the fact that you have written about yourself, that you're politically moderate, you call yourself a former Democrat. And
I was, yep.
and then, and I think this happened to so many people, but especially moms like you. And all of a sudden you said, you know what, I don't like these guys' policy, and I'm going to look for somebody that aligns more with protecting my kids and what I believe in. And that landed you on the R side. And so at this point, I know that you've been writing, you've been busy. Can you update us? Because we haven't talked in a little bit about what has been going on. So you have battled in court, and basically the focus is on children, kids, and all of that. But take me through where what have you accomplished? What are you still embroiled in? And take me through what you're doing right now.
Well, right now, I'm still actually involved in a lawsuit with the county commissioners. They still haven't released emails that I won back in 2022. Luckily, Judicial Watch is helping with my lawsuit, with helping me try to get the emails, because financially, average people cannot fight the government. You just can't. They have all your tax money. They can use it. They can do whatever they want with it. So I'm still trying to battle and get these emails that I actually won. It's amazing what they are going through to not give them to me.
And so you think about this. You and I know Meg Brock, and I've talked to other moms. So you've properly filed Freedom of Information requests. You had to go through the process legally. The courts sided with you, and they've ordered transparency in government. These are your taxpayer dollars, and they're still refusing to release the information.
They're refusing. They're spending a lot of money fighting me to get these emails. I mean, it's just crazy. If people really could understand what's going on, I think they would all be very upset about it. But, it's just hard to get the message out. But it's our tax money that they're using. Like, I'm using my own money to sue myself. It's crazy. It really is crazy. And the thing with open record law and winning them, it's like there's no way to really force anyone to do anything. You win them and they don't give them to you. It's like, well, what are you going to do? You have to take me to court and spend your own money. And it's a mess.
It is. And in your latest piece, the headline that caught our eye, it's an opinion piece, and the headline is Democrats are obsessed with abortion. You go through it and talk about why, who you are, what you're all about, but that this one issue is not enough to earn your vote. Can you take me through, first of all, the op-ed you wrote, why you wrote it, the reaction you're getting?
Sure. Well, I wrote it, I write a bunch of op-eds, and this one got a lot of traction for whatever reason. People are very interested in the abortion issue. Again, I'm not against, I'm pro-choice, with reasonable limits to abortion. I'm not against abortion. But the Democratic Party, that is like their only topic around here. Like the woman who's running for Congress against our congressman, on all her signs, it says the only pro-choice candidate, the only pro-choice candidate. Some of the state reps on the Democratic side, that's all they put on their signs. It's like their only issue. It's like they don't talk about anything else except abortion. It's crazy to me that people are not kind of offended by this, like as women, because it's like kind of saying like we need these politicians to like help us make decisions. And they're the only people that can stop us from having an unwanted pregnancy. I just find it like insulting at this point in 2024.
Yeah, and you point out in your Delaware Valley Journal op-ed piece, Jamie, that at the DNC, and this was something that, I had talked about, we all had talked about, what they had set up a tent that was saying, hey, get your free abortion, as if it's like a spa day, which it's not, or it's popcorn. That was weird. That was just, talk about weird. But I think part of this is, and I've tried to talk about this, Republicans need to get it together with how to talk about this issue and how to own this issue. And I think that's why the Democrats, they obviously don't have much else with the economy, inflation, and pretty much horrible candidates that are either tied or winning in a lot of the polls by just hiding. That shows you a lot. And so for me, this is, as I always say, the GOP, RNC, you've got to get it together. So where do you think that Republicans or conservatives could talk about this in a way that is more mainstream?
Well, first of all, I think the Republicans should focus on the fact that the Democrats, and I didn't even put this in my op-ed because it would just have gotten too long. The Democrats have a bill right now that there was a hearing about, I think in December, that actually takes away any limits or any restrictions of abortion. Maybe this will be my next op-ed, but there was a hearing about it. You can watch it. They want us to not have one restriction on abortion, and they basically say it, and they don't come out and say it just like that, but that is what they are saying. They want it to go to the 9th month of pregnancy. They want, a lot of this is they're pushing maybe for children to be able to have abortions without telling their parents.
Mm-hmm.
I think if the Republicans could focus on the extreme aspects of what the Democrats actually want, that's where you go, because we are not an extreme society. I think most people want reasonable limits to this stuff.
Yeah, and you point out in there that more than 60% of these procedures are done with a pill. So it's not a physical surgical procedure. Generally speaking, it's supposed to be early on. I'll point out to you that when I researched, remember recently Oprah Winfrey had that pre-taped town hall or whatever that was with Vice President Harris. And in that, it was heart-wrenching. They had these women on there who had said that 2 women had died, and they blamed the fact that there were laws, stricter laws. The truth is, I researched it. The complications arose because the women had taken mifepristone, the abortion medication, and these were later in pregnancy. Sometimes you can have complications. Nobody talks about any of this stuff. And the reason that
no one says anything.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And so that's just
no one
it.
says anything. Nobody says anything about it, and that is what the Republicans should be talking about, that, they just want no restrictions on anything. I have teenage daughters, and they get advertisements for abortion, because they're in that target audience age group. You can just go, you can just make an appointment, online and ask for the pills, basically. There's not too many restrictions to that around here.
Yeah, that's just
nobody
it.
Talks about that.
First and foremost, Republicans should say, in my opinion, these so-called birth control pills could be repackaged as medication. It mitigates your monthly, whatever you want to call it, all the symptoms, and shortens your period. We need to be blunt and really talk about, I know some people are like, oh gosh, Dawn, here she goes. But I'm telling you, I know. Don't talk about bleeding. But seriously,
it needs to be talked about.
If we talk about it, Republicans would own the issue. And because it's just that it's a sin that we're not having a real conversation.
Well, and I saw something on Facebook or Twitter that Josh Shapiro was just at a reproductive rights rally in Montgomery County. So the Democrats have no issues talking about it. That's their main, that is all they talk about, is fighting for reproductive rights, which means abortion. That's all they want to do. and the Republicans just don't talk about the downsides of it and what's like how there is really a bill that they want to, stop all restrictions of it. I don't understand it, but it's like becoming like an obsession for the Democratic Party. Right. I guess it's because the Republicans don't say anything about it enough. I think like nationally, Trump is trying to say, it's nothing to do with the federal government anymore.
Right.
He's trying, but
and that's just the biggest issue. That the problem is, and that's why the Vice President Harris coming out and saying, "Oh, this is I'll bring back the filibuster," and she's trying every which way to bait Republicans into that. And it's like, no, anything you do, anything you try at the federal level, the Supreme Court has ruled. And so it's no longer a federal issue. It's purely a state's issue.
Exactly. And that's what our congresswoman or the woman running for Congress against Brian Fitzpatrick keeps saying about him, that he'll ban abortion. That's what Bob Casey is saying about Dave McCormick. He'll ban abortion. And they're being honest. They're like, it's not our issue.
Right.
It's a state's issue.
And they need to
try to put it. Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm saying Democrats try to push this issue on every level of government. Like I wrote this in the op-ed in 2023, people don't even know what a county commissioner is and what they do, but the Democrats ran on the Republicans being against abortion at the county level, which they have no control over abortion laws. I mean, there's nothing to do with it. Like I see even the candidates, the Democratic candidates running for like statewide positions, like auditor general, all that stuff, they use abortion too. It's like it's out of control with abortion already.
Yeah. And
there's other issues,
Yeah. And I love that you brought up Plan B, which I'm the only one I thought who brought it up, because you have teenagers, I have teenagers, so that's all you hear about. And so we have to
is this really an issue for young girls anymore? I mean,
no.
They have so many more options that you and I had, at that age. Anybody can go on Amazon and get Plan B. Most, it's just so widely available to young girls and to boys that get it for girls, It's not an issue, especially in Pennsylvania, where our governor makes TikToks about abortion.
Yes.
Saying he will never ban it. And streams it to young kids. Like, they know what they're doing. The Democrats are really good at this.
Yeah. But in truth, what I don't get, it's a little dangerous because it is misinformation about health. And that's, to me, that's a real problem. And even Plan B, why isn't Plan B in every emergency department where they would say, if you've been raped or incest or whatever, get there, they'll give this to you for free. Make sure you get your period. It's not an abortion. But just do it immediately. Educate people on that. And so
maybe they do, and they don't tell. Nobody's telling us this happens. I don't know, but it's just so crazy that they can just keep using this issue, and people kind of buy into it. I don't understand it.
Yeah, and maybe to your
people
point,
are buying in less. I don't mean to interject here, but Maisie, my wife, I'll be completely honest, she was very much a one-topic voter. She swings Republican on almost every topic, but the emotional pull that the Democrats had really sunk in with her for the topic of abortion. And now you see all the ads during football that Kamala's running, and she's kind of to the point now where the Republicans, what they did was good enough. And you have a lot of these, moderate Republicans, as you're speaking of, calling for exceptions for rape, exceptions for, incest and women's health. And Maisie, I remember she cried to me one night. She said, Dan, look, as much as I want to vote Republican, I'm scared for my life. If I get pregnant, I don't want to fall into a position where the government chooses between the life of me or the life of a child, and I fear that's where we're going with a lot of the conservatives, what they're putting out there, and I'm not going to have a choice because there's not going to be any chance for these exceptions and such. And now this whole new reframing of abortion has completely gotten her to the point where I look at her during these commercials and she's just looking at her phone. She doesn't care anymore. And it's not really sinking in like it used to. And I think you guys are 100% right. This reframing of abortion is huge for capturing the female vote.
That's good. That makes me happy that at least maybe it's not working as well. Because you know what, when they overturned Roe, I said, I thought the same thing. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like women did fight for many years to, have safe abortions and everything. I don't think the right should be taken and given to the government, with reasonable limits. What the Democrats are doing now in Pennsylvania, and people probably don't know about it, they really are pushing for no limits. They want us to have, it could be up into the 9th month, no parental consent. So it's strange that anybody would even want this, but
you also,
I don't know.
You also have been, you have been involved in spreading awareness about, Title IX, and you had a great line in your op-ed as well, Jamie, where you talked about you feel that Democrats pretend like they want to protect women, yet they allow, as far as girls' sports, they will allow a biological male to compete against a girl in sports or use a girl's bathroom. And so
they definitely will.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and, just in Central Bucks alone, the Republican board did have a policy to protect female sports. Like it was policy, I think 123.3 or something. And the Democratic board did just retire that policy. So there is no policy to protect female sports now in our school district. Like they're saying, oh, well, we'll see what happens. If we'll deal with it. Basically, we'll deal with it when it's a problem.
Yes.
I mean, is that fair to girls?
Right.
You're going to make them go through that? I remember talking to Paula Scanlon, and
yes,
she was forced to change in locker rooms with boys, and they're not protecting women at all, letting men go into their spaces. So they are not the party that protects women by any means.
Well, Jamie, I hope you come back. I loved, just getting an update from you and getting your viewpoint on this, just trying to get the word out. And whether it's, in Bucks County or in Pennsylvania or beyond, we just need more women like you with a great voice. And I love that you're just at the end of the day, I think the common thread is that we love our kids and we're fighting for our kids, fighting for our daughters and our sons. And so we just appreciate the positive energy that you bring to it and the common sense answer to it all.
Oh, thank you so much. I never thought I would be an op-ed writer in my whole life. But like I said to my husband, I'm like, the Democrats just do stuff that makes it so easy for me to write things. So here I am.
Well, Jamie Walker, you're the best. Thank you so much.
All
and
right, thank you.
Until next time. Thanks, Jamie.
All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Yeah, and you can check out, check her out certainly on social media, on X, on Twitter. But her latest piece was the DelawareValleyJournal.com. You can check out, she's written a whole lot about Central Bucks community, that community, as well as in Pennsylvania. So some great pieces that she's written. And Meg Brock too. We'll get Meg on soon too, because I haven't even checked in with Meg until since she was a keynote speaker at CPAC. It's like last February, March. We're all just busy, so we got to keep in touch. Your thoughts, 855-839-1210. We want to get an update, obviously coming up in the 11 o'clock hour with Linda Kearns. What's going on in Pennsylvania? Some key questions here. Thanks for being here today. We'll be right back.
The exclusive crash-proof retirement system continues to be tried, true, and proven by over 5,000 crash-proof consumers.
I am Nancy Harding. This is my husband, Robert. With the crash-proof system, we are inflation-proof.
To offset inflation, we could take more cash out. The rest of our system will continue to grow.
And at a faster rate than we take it out. It makes his sleep, hence my sleep, so much better.
Tom Herr, and this is Susan Herr, Norvon, Pennsylvania. The crash-proof system is fighting inflation for us. When prices do go up, we still have income coming in. And even though we're using money, we're still making more money. And at the end, we have more money than we started with.
We have those resources to make our life and retirement much more comfortable.
And we can sleep at night.
Yes, definitely.
Schedule an appointment or register for the next Crash-Proof Retirement Educational Event at Spring Mill Country Club on Wednesday, October 16th. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Do you need to improve your smile? Get a dynamite smile with Lumineers. Make a great impression with friends, family, dates, and job interviews. Dr. Heinbaugh of American Dental Implant and Lumineers Center is the area's only certified Lumineers dentist. Don't have your teeth reduced with traditional veneers. Lumineers are the greatest development in dentistry today. No grinding shots or pain. Lumineers save tooth structure. Lumineers are patented and proprietary. Lumineers last many years with a track record of over 25 years and more. Don't hide your teeth. Show off your dynamite smile. Dr. Heinbaugh is thrilled with his Lumineers. Call today for your free consultation and Lumi Smile, a simulation of how you can have a beautiful smile. No more crooked yellow teeth spaces and many other conditions eliminated. Call American Dental Implant and Lumineers Center in Springfield, Pennsylvania, Delaware County. 610-543-0222. 610-543-0222. That's 610-543-0222.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano at Batteries Plus Bulbs in Mount Laurel and Northfield. My friend Roy is looking for help. A handy do-it-yourselfer would be ideal. It's a great low-pressure environment with both full-time and part-time jobs available. Plus, if you're the entrepreneurial type, Roy is always interested in bringing in new services. But above all, customer service key. If you're willing to do what it takes to help, you need to talk to Roy. Be part of the team. They power it, they light it, they fix it. Call 856-638-0778. Batteries Plus Bulbs, Mount Laurel and Northfield.
Homeowners, improve your family's comfort with a Bradford White water heater and enjoy all the hot water your household needs. All day, every day. With Bradford White, you get more than just a water heater. You get our commitment to quality and reliability that you can trust. How you heat your water matters, so don't compromise when it comes to your home or your hot water. Bradford White water heaters are built to be the best because your home deserves it. Visit BradfordWhite.com to learn more and find an installation pro near you.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our Timeshare Exit Information Kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
The following is a paid commercial message.
A lot of congressmen talk about real results, but Brian Fitzpatrick actually delivers for real people like Tom.
I believe that Congressman Fitzpatrick does have his finger on the pulse, does feel the needs of businesses, and recognizes what small businesses mean to Main Street America.
Janice.
I would say 100% that I support Brian Fitzpatrick for Congress. I know that he has our interests at heart. He's just really a man of great integrity.
And Pete.
Congressman Fitzpatrick is very responsive, especially to veterans' needs. I can't think of any other person I'd rather see as my congressman than Brian Fitzpatrick.
Delivering for Pennsylvania. That's Congressman Brian Fitzpatrick. Vote on or before Election Day, November 5th. Paid for by America's Credit Unions PAC of Credit Union National Association, Inc., americascreditunions.org, and not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. America's Credit Unions PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Election integrity, those two words should be common ground for every American. Election integrity, we all want that, right? Because that way, on November 6th or 7th, everyone can say, hey, we all voted, and we know and we trust that there was full election integrity, transparency, all the laws were followed, and that this was legal and my vote counted and the right outcome happened. How many events have you attended? I know I've attended many, where somebody will talk about. Recently, I was at an event in Montgomery County, and the RNC chair, Michael Watley, talked about, how many votes this election, may come down to, a sliver of votes, and talked about election integrity. And, there were some snorts and jeers from people saying, oh, yeah, well, we didn't, you can fill in the blank. A lot of people feel disenfranchised. A lot of people feel that the elections are not fair. And that's why this is such a critical issue. No matter who you're voting for, no matter what you believe in, it's actually bigger than one candidate or one election. It's critical. This one is critical to the republic for which we stand. I've talked a lot about President Trump, the RNC's election integrity team. I told you that, less than 2 weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago, they secured that it was a big victory with the Pennsylvania Supreme Court that rejected that challenge to the dated ballot requirement. In other words, hey, we're going to keep with the law. So let's bring in our expert, and this is our the hardest working woman in, in Pennsylvania politics or national politics as far as an attorney. Linda Kearns is the Pennsylvania Election Integrity Counsel and works for the RNC in this post. I know that you headed for Luzerne. We've had some questions on social media about what's going on in Luzerne County, Pennsylvania, and there's a little concern there that we wanted to shine a light on. So first I'll say good morning. Hi, Linda.
Good morning, Dawn. And my answer to your questions is I was raised in a middle-class family. Isn't that how we're supposed to answer all of our questions? So there you go. And, if you were one of those buffoons on mainstream media, you would say, Linda, that's a great answer. Isn't she great? And let's move on. But I know you're not going to let me get away with that, right? And we shouldn't let the person who wants to be the president of the United States get away with that. So
well said.
I appreciate you.
Well played. We appreciate you, Linda Kearns.
I am here in Luzerne County. I love northeastern Pennsylvania. I love all of Pennsylvania, but northeastern Pennsylvania is just so beautiful, the mountains and the nature. But I went to Luzerne County because, Dawn, there's a lot of things going around on Twitter and social media, and then people say things, and then people just get all upset. And I just wanted to nail it down. What exactly is going on? So it looks like, and I talked to several people at Luzerne County today, and I went to their Board of Elections meeting. Right. It looks like they are processing all of the mail ballot applications as they come in, and right now they have around 4,000 outstanding, but that's not the same 4,000 that was outstanding last week. So some of it went down and some of it went back up again. So it does look like that they are consistently processing those mail ballots, voter registrations. They are aware of the deadlines, and they have, a lot of people on it. So we continue to monitor that because we want to make sure everyone who registered is registered in time to cast a ballot for this election.
And so the persistence at Scott Pressler, he was the one over the weekend that felt that there was something disingenuous, going on here, that he had reliable sources that were saying some concerning things. He was talking about 15,000 plus unprocessed voter registration plus mail-in ballot applications. And so I think that what I inferred from him is he's saying that they're not processing them quickly enough. Is any of that happening, or what are you seeing on the ground there?
Right. So I don't know where that 15,000 number came from, because we are trying to track down the exact numbers. And I've talked to several people in that office and then other people who go to all the meetings, and we cannot find what equals that 15,000. So I want to assure you that we're tracking it down. But what really does help is if people know something, go to protectthevote.com. That's how you volunteer. But there's also a way to report things to us. And when you report things to us, we track it down. I mean, here I am in Luzerne County asking them about it. What I suspect is that we know that there's around 4,000 registrations that they are in the process of processing, but then they're also processing other things like mail ballot applications. So if you put all of those numbers together, I mean, it's possible that it reaches a higher number than 4,000. But the problem is when all we know is that it's a reliable source, and we're talking to, I think I've spoken to 5 people who work there, and no one else has given me that same number. It's difficult to actually, track down that exact accusation. But I do want you to know that, we're looking into it. I'm looking into it, and then I have people looking into it. And it really does help when people hear about this. If you go to Protect the Vote, there's a way to report things. So, like, what would be helpful is if someone went to Protect the Vote and said, "Look, I registered. I submitted a registration, but I don't see that I'm registered yet." Like that. That's really useful information, because then we would have a specific voter to track down. But all of these people who are out there registering voters, putting up yard signs, trying to get out the vote, the campaign is so grateful for that, because that's how this gets done, spreading the word. And I can see here in Luzerne County, I think this is Trump country, so that's something that I'm really excited about.
Yeah, and it looks like, I think what he's also trying to shine a light on, and they released a news release from Luzerne County, the Bureau of Elections. It looks like they're really trying to hire people, temps for Election Day. They need, so it sounds like they also are putting the word out that they want to hire more people to process some of this. That's what I'm inferring from the news release that they put out.
Right, and that's pretty standard in these high-profile presidential election years. A lot of these counties hire temps, and we at the RNC, we encourage any of our volunteers that we have, if you want to apply for that job, please do. We'd love to have you also apply for those temp jobs. Sometimes our volunteers might not be available because they may not be able to leave their regular job to do it, but that is something that we constantly do, and we make that available to our volunteers. So if they want to apply, that they can do that. So, the fact that they are looking to hire some people to help, that's pretty standard in a presidential election year. And I think the fact that we're pushing, the fact that we're questioning, the fact that I showed up at the Board of Elections meeting today, the fact that other people are questioning shows them that they can't hide. Like, they're going to be continually questioned about it. So, that's the good thing about keeping everything as transparent as possible.
It looks like, too, they were publishing their sample ballot today, and they were having today some kind of a mock election to do the run-through. That's all pretty standard stuff?
Well, when we finally know who the candidates are, and in Pennsylvania, we didn't even know until September 16th because there was litigation. So they have to actually test all of those ballots. They run them through the machines. They run through ballots that maybe have votes for both candidates to see how the machine handles that. If they fold ballots incorrectly, to see if the machine will still take it. They make sure that the machine can recognize where all the bubbles are. So there's pretty sophisticated testing of all this stuff before they can actually make the ballots available. So that is something that the counties are doing. We are challenging Montgomery County because we're concerned that they didn't do all of the testing required before they sent out their ballots. But again, we're monitoring that, and we have a hearing scheduled on that just to flesh all this out, because there's 67 counties done, and we're watching all 67.
And another one, Linda, that I just wanted to update, there were some reports out that claimed that there are, at least 500,000, or maybe even 1 million, but 500,000 in our region, people who who are legal gun owners, hunters, sportsmen, and women who, I guess, don't trust the system. And the concern is that they're not registering to vote. Do you have any information that would in fact verify that level of people who are saying, I don't trust it, or I just don't have faith?
Right. Well, I can tell you that our political arm, and that's the TrumpForce47.com, that's the arm that is reaching out to all of the voters. And so I think that in a general sense, you could say that people who own a gun or live in rural areas might not trust the government or trust the system, and might not want to be registered. You can say that in a general sense. But I can tell you that if you look at the registration numbers in Pennsylvania, we are outpacing the Democratic registrations week after week after week. And even when that silly Taylor Swift, tweeted out who she was endorsing, we still eclipse those registrations. So we're registering everybody. We're registering the gun owners. We're registering the Christians. We're registering the people who might not have wanted to be involved before, because I think everyone understands how important this election is. So that is something that I know that our political team is on top of and targeting, which is why, and by the way, I heard you this morning say swampthevote.com on the morning show, and I thought, oh, there's my girl. She got my email. She said it. But see, the reason that we're telling people to go to swampthevote.com, if you go on there, it walks you through how to request your mail ballot. And the reason why that's so important is if you, Dawn, request your mail ballot, I think you said you live in Philadelphia, so those ballots are ready. If you request your mail ballot, vote it, and you can return it right to the election office, then your vote is done. And we don't have to spend money sending you postcards, sending you text messages, and having someone call. So then we have more resources to call the gun owners, to call the people who might not be registered or who might be a little bit reluctant. So if you want to help, that's how you can help. Go to swampthevote.com. And what I say is it's almost like getting more votes in for President Donald Trump, because what you're doing is you're getting your vote in and you're freeing up resources so that we can chase those other people who might be a little bit reluctant. But hey, I'm a gun owner and I vote, so I don't think that statistic is true for all gun owners. I think there's probably a pocket of people, just like there's a pocket of people in every segment of society, but we are after them. And I've been doing this for over 20 years, and the ground game that we have is eclipsing anything I've ever seen in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and we just have the best team ever. And I am just really excited about all of the patriotism I see for Donald Trump.
That's wonderful. Are you received, when you're traveling, and obviously Luzerne County right now, but you're traveling across as somebody who is a Philadelphia-based attorney, are you welcomed? Do you find that you're welcomed? What kind of reception do you get when you're showing up at these different venues at different counties?
Right. Well, people are suspicious of Philadelphia, and I go on a lot of our trainings on our webinars, and they're for people all across the state. And sometimes I will tell you I get boos when I mention the Eagles or the Phillies. I do get boos from the other side of the state. So yes, I get boos for that. But I tell people, yes, I'm from Philadelphia. Yes, I understand how there might be some distrust. But then I explain to them how we had a special election on September 17th, and I, along with a legal team from the RNC, went to the canvas, watched it, looked at every single part of how they were counting the ballots, asked questions, and we know that the operation is much smoother and better than it was in 2020, and I have all the information necessary to train the people that I'm going to have watching the mail ballot count come in, which is something I didn't have in 2020. So when they hear that we are on top of this, I think that they are a little bit more comforted, because in 2020 a lot of this was a surprise. But we are ready this time, and I'm constantly recruiting attorneys and volunteers. ProtectTheVote.com. I said something to Dan when I was on the Dom show, because I haven't seen his name come across ProtectTheVote.com, and I'm watching. So, the more people that I have, the more eyes, then the more faith you can have in the system. And we have an attorney. His name's Joe DeFelice, the former chair of the Philadelphia Republican Party. All he does all day, all night, all weekend is recruit poll watchers for Philadelphia, and we are really filling those spots. And I did not have someone dedicated to Philadelphia in 2020. So that's just really important. When people hear that, they realize, yeah, something's being done. So I think that even though they might still be suspicious of Philly, or maybe the people in the West might not like me because I'm wearing an Eagles jersey, then they say, okay, well, at least she is trying to keep things honest in Philadelphia.
Although after yesterday's loss, they might have pity on you or any of us,
I know. Can we ever catch a break? But what I like to say is, hey, maybe we're going to have a red October with the Phillies and a red November. And that's what I'm hoping for. And Dawn, when you tell people go to protectthevote.com and sign up, I mean, I've gotten so many people to sign up, I think because they're just so tired of hearing it. Like my entire family signed up because they said, my God, like enough.
Now they're saying, Dawn, we want to shut Dawn and Linda up.
Exactly. I have 2 nieces and 2 nephews away at college, and they've already requested their mail ballots. Good. And the two nephews already emailed me that it's on the way. So, and I think they were just tired of getting the text messages. So if that's what it takes, then that's what we're going to have to do.
Down, Linda.
I'm wearing people down.
So what lawsuits, because I know there were some, left-leaning activists, I'll say, that filed different lawsuits back and forth dealing with the date requirements. Is that over with, or are there still other lawsuits that you're dealing with?
Right. There's still other lawsuits addressing that, because the lawsuit that you referenced, the big win that we got in the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania, they did overturn what the Commonwealth Court did. The problem was that part of the reason they overturned it is because the plaintiffs only sued 2 counties rather than all 67 counties. So there's always a chance that more suits were going to pop up. There was a lawsuit in Philadelphia addressing the special election, trying to get some undated ballots counted for that, but that only addressed Philadelphia, and the RNC did get involved in that. And then there's what's called a King's Bench petition pending, which is when you ask the Supreme Court for extraordinary jurisdiction to address these issues once and for all. So we are monitoring it. We are getting involved in these lawsuits because we believe that we're in the right. The legislature said, fill out, date, and sign your ballots. And every court that has addressed this on the merits, has recognized that that's what the law says.
Yes. Have you seen shenanigans? Are you seeing shenanigans as far as people trying to play dirty?
I know that whenever I get something from protectthevote.com, any complaints, we run it down, and we may, and if we hear something, we say, okay, then we need more poll watchers there, or send somebody out and find out exactly what this person's problem is. And sometimes, Dawn, people get confused, and it might even be innocent. Like I know that a member of my family called and said, I haven't got my mail ballot yet. What's going on? Are they not giving it to me? And I said, oh, well, your county hasn't even sent them out yet. So sometimes people get a little excited, which is good. They're excited to vote for Donald Trump, but we do try to give out exact information, and that is so important. And we have these webinars several times a week and live in person. I know you've gone to a couple. I think it's tomorrow night or maybe Wednesday night. We're having a Protect the Vote webinar, and Dom Giordano is going to come on and introduce our speaker, which is great. And I'm going to use you one of these times too.
Yes.
And that's just so great because these people who are volunteering, they are the heart of the operation. The people who are going to sit in those polling places for me, the people who are going to watch the mail ballot, the people who are knocking on doors, the people who are putting out signs, they are the heart of this information, and we value them so much. So I thought that would be a little treat to have Dom on, kind of giving them a pep talk. And I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to use you too, Don.
Fabulous. So. Yeah, we'll promote when Dom, because that's the piece of this. And I know, Dan, right now we're getting some interaction and some questions, and that's a piece of it that a lot of times people will say to me, or they'll call in to any one of us here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and say, oh, there are some shenanigans and this and that. And so we want to just make sure that if there's something that somebody witnessed, you have a question, here it is. I mean, you have, and this is great, I think, that we have an integrity council for the RNC, and Linda Kearns, who you're listening to, is the lawyer, one of the attorneys with it, right? So this is a place where people can go, make sure that there's election integrity and that you're reporting things regularly because it will be investigated. And I think this is so important what you're doing, Linda.
Yeah, and if you sign up for Protect the Vote and go on the webinars, I can't be on all of them, but I am on a lot of them, and I answer questions, and our staff answers questions. And when we do answer the questions, the people say, wow, it was never explained that way. Thank you so much. So I think that's what it takes. It takes getting out the accurate information to people, and then they realize that we are fighting for them. Because at the end of the day, I mean, I realize officially I represent Donald J. Trump, but I represent the voters because I want every vote to count here in Pennsylvania, because I am confident, especially looking around my beautiful, beautiful home state of Pennsylvania, that our voters know that this Commonwealth needs Donald J. Trump in the White House.
Amen. So volunteer today, and as it says at protectthevote.com, make it easier to vote and harder to cheat in elections nationwide. Protectthevote.com. Dan, there were some questions.
Yeah, I want to do this quickly because we got the great Larry Menti in the green room. I don't know.
Wait. We're preferring Larry Menti over Linda Kearns. I think we're going to have a meeting over that. Okay, but I get where I rank. But go ahead. I'll answer any
Linda,
questions.
YouTube.com/@1210WPHT. Please go like and subscribe. Always feel free to submit your questions. Peter, I don't know if you know this. How often do you need to request a mail-in ballot, Linda? Do you know that?
You only have to request it once.
Not each year?
Each year. Yeah. If you requested in the primary, you probably are on the list for the whole year. But if you are concerned at all, you can re-request online. But what I like to do is go right into my election office. I live in Philadelphia. I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to go right to City Hall, and they will hand you the ballot over the counter. You fill it out. You put it back in the secrecy envelope. You put it back in the outer envelope. You sign and date, and you hand it right back to them. That's the safest way to vote by mail. But if you're afraid that you didn't request it again. That's not going to harm anything.
Fred Flintstone asks, when do we receive the mail-in ballots? Should we have gotten them yet, Linda?
It depends on your county. Some counties will not send out till mid-October. Philadelphia, I know, has started sending out because my colleague, Jody Felice, he already voted his. He got it in the mail. He sat down, he voted it, and then he delivered it himself. He didn't want to put it in the mail stream, so he delivered it himself right back to the Philadelphia Board of Elections. So it really depends on where you live.
And one more for you from Jimmy. He writes, if you request a mail-in ballot and it seems to be a fiasco, are you still able to vote in person?
If you request a mail ballot and you do not vote it and show up at your polling place, you are supposed to bring the entire mail ballot packet with you, and they do something called spoiling it so that allows you to vote on the machine. So if for some reason you don't have that with you, they will have you vote by something called provisional ballot, which then can be looked at later to make sure that you also didn't vote a mail ballot, because what we don't want is someone voting a mail ballot and then voting on the machine. So if you haven't voted by Election Day, absolutely, I encourage people to go to their polling place, and if you can't vote on the machine because the poll book says that you got a mail-in ballot, then they will give you a provisional ballot. But we have plenty of time. Follow your Board of Elections. You can Google it, or if you sign up for protectthevote.com, then you'll get one of our staffers' information, and you can just ask them. I mean, we tell voters all the time when their county is going to be available. I don't have that memorized, so I can't say who's available and who's not right now.
I'm good,
but I'm not that good.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Dawn, but I do have one more question from Jimmy, a follow-up question. If you deliver it yourself, I'm sorry, this one's more important, I think. So humidity, rain sometimes seals the envelopes, right? The mail-in envelopes, and if they accidentally get sealed in the mailbox prior, what are you supposed to do in that case?
Jeez.
You mean sealed before you get it?
Yes.
Go right back to the Board of Elections. Go right back to the Board of Elections. Tell them what happened. Ask them for a replacement. They can spoil it for you. Go right back to the Board of Elections. We have time. We still have. We're still over a month out. So if you receive a ballot and it's ripped or there's something the matter with it, go right into your Board of Elections and tell them.
Protectthevote.com. Linda Kearns, you're the best. We appreciate you. Pennsylvania Election Integrity Council for the RNC for Trump. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you to everyone for getting out the word.
Absolutely. Talk to you soon. Larry Menti, and this happened to Larry, so he can talk about it one time because he got it in the mail. He didn't even remember ordering it, but wanted to vote in person, so he can share his story. There's a lot of news today. Do we have to take a break? Quick break. Be right back.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
Need new doors and windows, but not high-pressure sales tactics?
If so, give Emmons a call today. At Emmons, we provide top-notch installation service with a focus on quality and customer satisfaction with brands like Anderson and Provia Windows and Doors.
And you can upgrade your home today with our energy-efficient options, which help save you money.
Call us today at 856-885-6677 or visit callemmons.com. From top to bottom,
to inside and out,
at Emmons, we have you covered.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Bob Casey supported sanctuary city policies that let criminal illegal immigrants onto our streets instead of deporting them. Casey voted over and over again to fund sanctuary cities, making our neighborhoods less safe. After an illegal alien was arrested for domestic assault in Philadelphia, instead of deporting him, they let him go. Thanks to sanctuary city policies Bob Casey supported. That same criminal, released under the radical policy Casey voted for, went on to repeatedly rape a 5-year-old girl. It could have been prevented. It should have been prevented. But Bob Casey failed us. The U.S. attorney said this young girl was raped because of Philadelphia's sanctuary city policy. Bob Casey voted over and over for this madness, putting our families, our children, at risk. We've had enough of Bob Casey. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. SenateLeadershipFund.org.
Hey, Joe DeCamera here. Isn't it time to invest in yourself? Well, how about this? Start a PI Dental Center with decades of experience in complex dental treatment, and I've been a patient of PI Dental for 20 years. Dr. Glenn Wolfinger and Dr. Robert Slough, they're board-certified prosthodontists. They specialize in the restoration and replacement of teeth, and PI Dental Center are the originators of the teeth in a day. It's a revolutionary treatment that delivers fixed teeth and implants placed for a dramatic transformation in a mere one day. So visit PIDentalCenter.com. That's PIDentalCenter.com to request your new patient evaluation.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
Kamiko the cat, who was shot by an arrow in North Philly last week, is recovering and in great spirits. Thousands came out to party on the Parkway Sunday for the annual Puerto Rican Day Parade. And the banged up Eagles get blown out in Tampa 33-16. They have a bye next week.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Weather sponsored by Robert Half.
The dreary conditions remain in the forecast for the first half of the work week. Clouds today with a shower possible. Still mild with a high 73. Tonight, clouds continue with a chance for a shower, low 60. And another cloudy day on Tuesday with a shower possible, high 71.
9 out of 10 hiring managers are having difficulty hiring. Robert Half is here to help. Our recruiting professionals utilize an award-winning AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet? Do it today at 1210 WPHT.
To have other headlines of the day, this East Coast port strike. I just saw that CNBC was reporting that these truckers and the rails just scrambling to try to move billions in cargo before this midnight shutdown. So this is a huge strike that will affect all of us. 14 ports where the largest longshoremen's union in North America is planning to strike at the stroke of midnight, 12:01, if a new contract deal is not reached. And this affects all of us here on the East Coast, including, of course, Port of Philadelphia. $14 billion in trade items, including New York, Jersey, Baltimore, Norfolk, Georgia, Miami. Obviously, I said Philadelphia, but this is a huge deal. We're watching this very carefully. And then also prayers and many first responders heading down south, where we have millions of people without power, flooding, a dire situation after the devastating hurricane and tropical storm. It's an absolute devastating situation down south with that death toll rising by the minute. So much happening, and I'm joined by my better half, Larry Menti, the one and only. Hey, you.
Hey, I got a quick question for you. I was just going to call you, and your name popped up, and it said under your title, Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
And then there was another one, and I pushed that one because I wanted to see what was written there, and it said Goddess.
Ooh.
Now, you put that in there, right?
I did? I thought you did. I have no idea.
No, I don't think I did. Maybe I should say I did, but I don't think I did. I think someone was fooling with my phone and put that in there.
Oh, that's funny.
You're not taking credit on it? Was it the ghost?
What's that now?
Look, it was probably God Almighty. This was written into the contacts, into your contacts.
Well, that's funny because there's a third one that says God Almighty underneath. So
this is
it
where
might have been that God Almighty. Yeah,
I know. I'm a child. I'm so silly. Wonder Woman. That's what he calls me. That's my nickname.
So it was you.
It was, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it could have been one of your sons. I don't know.
That's true. They probably would put something else on it. Cracks me up. He's got, thank you, Dan. Dan's going along with you with the theme music. How are you? Now, one of your coworkers, Michael Riedel, who was famous for his days, right, as a critic at the New York Post, and so he is stuck in the Carolinas in this horrible storm.
Yeah, he's a Broadway critic for the New York Post, and he does talk radio. People might remember it from the Amish show. But he went to the Smoky Mountains to hike, and he was evacuated from the Smoky Mountains, and they took him to Asheville, North Carolina. Of course, that was actually turned out to be the hardest hit area. 30 people in that county have died. He's stuck right now. He's trying to get a flight out. The airport was shut down. And now they're telling him that if he doesn't make it out today, he's got to stay in a shelter overnight because there's just nowhere to go. So I feel for those people down there. I mean, Michael is the least of it. He's just a tourist that happened to be there. But people have lost their homes. Of course, I told you that 30 people in that county alone have died, and they have not been able to get to everybody. So, no, this is an unbelievable disaster. And there's a lesson in that. I think you remember years ago when we first moved here, years ago when Hurricane Floyd just stalled over Philadelphia, and we had a week of flooding. That's basic. You don't know where these things are going to go. And so whenever you hear warnings, take them very seriously, because every once in a while you're going to get hit harder than anyone else, and they're learning that, unfortunately, right now in Asheville, North Carolina.
Yeah, it's so true. Can you stay on with us? We have to take a quick break.
Oh, you're done with me already?
No. We want you to hold on. Hold on.
Okay.
We want you to hold on. We'll chat more, but we have to pay some bills. Is that all right?
Wonder Woman. I'll be here.
Yes, I will. Right around the corner after the commercial break, I will circle Larry with my golden lasso. Now I'm just being silly.
What's going on today?
Oh, wow. This is where our teenage kids are like, oh, God.
Hey now.
All right, we'll take a quick break. Be right back.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano with an easy question. How are your cholesterol levels? Managing healthy cholesterol is a key to a strong heart and overall wellness. For over 38 years, Rescue Natural Supplements has been a trusted ally in helping people reach their cholesterol goals. I've counted on Rescue for years, and with good reason. Their range of supplements designed to meet your specific needs, from omega-3s to red yeast rice and more. Take charge of your heart health today. Use the code DROP at checkout to double your order on any cholesterol product for free. Call today at 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a knowledgeable product consultant or use the code online when you visit res-q.com, res-q.com. Remember to use the code DROP to buy one, get one free on Rescue Cholesterol products. Double up your cholesterol support today. Use the code DROP at res-q.com.
Inflation, recession, interest rates, the Fed. How do you make sense of it all? Join Joe Yakovich on The Heart of Your Money, Sundays at 9 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Wawa has classic hoagies for just $6. Whether it's cheesesteak, meatball, or Italian, get any classic hoagie for just $6. Gotta have a Wawa.
The following is a paid commercial message.
I'm Kamala Harris. Here's a few things I believe. Middle-class families, like the one I grew up in, they want common sense solutions. You want lower prices and lower taxes. I believe you want to just not get by, but you want to get ahead. We must create an opportunity economy where everyone has a chance to get a car loan, buy a home, start a business. And I believe we can make that happen.
Kamala Harris's plan? Bring down costs by cracking down on corporate price gougers. Make homeownership more affordable for families. A middle-class tax cut for 100 million Americans. And make sure billionaires and big corporations pay their fair share so you can keep more of the money you've earned.
Instead of being focused on the politics of the past, we need to be thinking about the future and how we make it better for families like yours. I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for President.
At PGW, safety is essential to delivering clean, reliable natural gas to Philadelphia homes and businesses. If you smell gas, call PGW at 215-235-1212.
This is Jonathan Cans, third-generation owner of Marvin E. Cans Heating and Air Conditioning. Did you procrastinate another summer on getting that old AC unit replaced? Or maybe waited another winter to replace that ancient furnace? Well, stop procrastinating. Now is the time to replace that old AC unit or furnace because our big rebates available. Big ones, up to $2,600 rebates. We've got Pico rebates, manufacturers rebates, Electrical Association rebates, and more. At Marvin E. Cans Inc., we are rebate experts. Contact us at marvinecans.com. That's marvinekанze.com.
When was the last time you watched your home movies?
Disasters strike unexpectedly. Every year, American families lose the one thing they'd run back into a burning building for, their family's memories. Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Adam. We started Legacy Box to help save your family's most important recorded moments so you don't have to worry.
Load Legacy Box with your old movies, film reels, and shoeboxes of photos.
We work our digitizing magic, converting those memories right to the cloud so they're safe and accessible forever.
It's fast, we always send your originals back, and it's done right here in the USA.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box. Better Homes and Garden, Real Simple, and Inc. magazine are all talking about Legacy Box.
New York Times columnist David Pogue says, have them digitized. I wish I'd done it sooner. Take action. Save your family's memories today with Legacy Box.
Go to legacybox.com/value to get an incredible 50% off your Legacy Box. That's legacybox.com/value for 50% off while supplies last. legacybox.com/value.
Don't miss the Labor and Energy Show with J-Doc and Krause, brought to you by Advocacy United, this Saturday night at 6. Find out about the important issues that'll affect you. The Labor and Energy Show, Saturday night at 6 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Yo, Roy is Ford. What? We know your favorite station is 1210 WPHT.
Look, from the time that the president called me and told me he wasn't running, I mean, it just like everything was in speedy motion. And I was not sleeping so well. And that one morning, I had, I don't know, a few hours sleep, and I like to sleep. I just got up, and so I just went out and got a pork roast and started marinating.
See, time to work. Get to your happy place.
And my family happened to be in town, so they were very happy about the whole situation. But I just got up and started, everybody's asleep, I just got up and started cooking.
Kamala pork roast.
What is going on?
I love to sleep. I like pork roast. I guess she's sleeping in today. She's getting briefed she's getting briefed. She's flying back to D.C. and getting briefed on the storms. By contrast, though, I will say former President Donald J. Trump is visiting Valdosta, Georgia this afternoon after Helene, one of the storm-ravaged areas. So he is visiting there. So we'll bring you that latest for sure. Is Larry Menti still there?
Yep.
I'm here.
Hey. So just looking at everything going on. So Trump is in Georgia today. And this is after Hurricane Helene and the remnants of it whipped through obviously Georgia, the Carolinas, 6 different states down south. How much do you think this matters that Trump is there and that we have the vice president of the United States as well as the president? They have no immediate plans to go down south and visit folks.
Apparently, it doesn't matter at all. I can't figure this out. I have never seen a media so disinterested in the fact that they have a candidate who doesn't make trips like this one, like she should be making, who doesn't do news conferences, who does limited interviews only with Democratic-leaning interviewers, and doesn't say anything. We have no idea what she's going to do, which is really, really scary. But the media seems fine with that, and the only thing they want to do is pick apart exactly what Trump says and find something that they can criticize him on. And, I just dealt with this all morning with the fact that he said Kamala Harris is brain damaged, which everybody in the audience laughed at.
It was a joke.
Yes, absolutely.
Because he had we played it earlier, Larry, just so you know, but he says about Joe Biden, maybe he has some mental, incompetency issues, and then he jokes that and that was the headline. That was the headline.
Yes, and do you think people that have mental health problems think that was funny? Have you ever called anybody crazy in your life? Because if you did, I think people with mental health would be offended by that. And yet, Kamala Harris goes to the border for 20 minutes.
Jeez.
How disinterested was she in being there to an area where nothing was happening? And at the same time she's there, first of all, she claimed that they gave more money to Border Patrol agents. And I love that the union in real time put out a statement saying, no, she never did that.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that ICE also released that there were 15,881 people that got across the border who were convicted of rape and over 13,000 convicted of murder, including the guy that killed Laken Riley at the University of Georgia, and including the 2, I don't even know what I can call them, despicable people who raped a girl in Houston over and over again and killed her and threw her body in the water. That's fine. All that's fine. They don't even cover that. Donald Trump says somebody is mentally disabled. Oh, that's the story.
Hey, before you guys go to break, I just want to get your thoughts to a clip that just happened about minutes ago, right on the topic of the do-nothing president and his vice president, Kamala Harris. After the press conference held by President Biden today, on his way out, reporters were asking him whether he'd be traveling down to the storm-affected areas. Here's what he had to say. Take a listen.
On the hurricane, Mr. President, why weren't you and Vice President Harris here in Washington commanding this weekend?
I was commanding. I was on the phone for at least 2 hours yesterday and the day before as well. I command. It's called a telephone. And all my security people.
Is it not important for the country to see?
Then walks out of the room.
And then he walks out. But this doesn't get play.
I had a hard time hearing it, so he refused to answer. Is that what he did?
No, he said rather than going down, he was asked why he hasn't responded in person to what's going on, and whether he's commanding what's going on, and he kind of responds, "Well, I am commanding. I was on the phone. I was on the phone for 2 hours commanding."
So it's not commander in chief; it's commander by phone. Ugh. Not even zooming it in; it's just phoning it in.
No, he's going to go check out the floodwaters in Rehoboth Beach. Is what he's going to do. He's going to go there to see what the tide is like. This guy has already phoned it in. Actually, he phoned it in about a couple of years ago. No fault of his own. We've all heard him. Did you hear him the other day when they asked him about the strikes in Yemen? And he went and he says, I'm trying to negotiate an end to that strike. I'm in the middle of it right now, but we got mediators there on the ground. He was talking about the strike of the longshoremen.
Well,
he has completely lost it. I'm glad he's not going down there. Kamala has no excuse.
Well, hey, we have to take another break because we're backlogged here. Can you stick around for just a few more minutes?
Man, you guys are making a lot of money.
I know.
Wow. All right. No, I'll hang around.
I can go shopping. It's a big Macy's sale. You know what I'm saying?
No, we're not making a lot of money. The station's making a lot of money. I think you misheard me.
We'll be right back.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You're in hot water, mister.
What'd I do?
I told you months ago our utility bills were getting higher because of that old outdated tank water heater.
Maybe it's time we finally switch to a Navien tankless.
Learn about Navient's high-efficiency tankless water heaters, endless hot water, all while helping you save on your energy costs.
Hey, look at this. Our utility bill is lower since we got the Navien tankless water heater.
Who's in hot water now?
We are, all the time.
Learn more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
They're pounding on the door. They're calling on the phone. They're threatening to close your business. If debt has your business on the brink, call Ray Reynolds, the godfather of credit. For over 40 years, Ray Reynolds has helped thousands of customers get millions in cash credit. It's no wonder why they call Ray the godfather of credit. He may even be able to raise your score above 750 before the end of the year. You could even get a new personal or business credit line up to $50,000 within days. If your credit needs a rebuild, call Ray Reynolds and receive a $1,000 cash credit card at closing. Raise your credit score to 750 or more. Call Ray Reynolds at 800-576-2295. 800-576-2295. Learn about Ray's secrets to success and how he can fix and improve your credit score to 750 or more. Call the godfather of credit rebuild, Ray Reynolds, at 800-576-2295. 800-576-2295.
Longing for thick, healthy, gorgeous hair? Say goodbye to shedding thin and dull hair and say hello to thick, healthy hair with Hair Volume from New Nordic.
Free speech lives here with Kaylee Company weekday mornings on Odyssey's #1 talk station, 1210 WPHT.
Latest headlines today we have in West Palm Beach, Florida, the man charged with attempting to assassinate Donald Trump after, remember, that was this guy allegedly positioned himself with that rifle outside the golf club there, the golf course. And so he's expected to enter a plea to those 5 federal charges. He's 58-year-old Ryan Ruth. We have that going on. We have the deadly flooding across the South. In Georgia, Trump expected to appear, and at least in Georgia, as he travels, I don't know if he's planning to travel to any other flood-ravaged areas as the death toll continues to rise. And Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, President and Veep, no plans yet to visit the flood-ravaged, storm-ravaged region that has suffered in catastrophic, deadly ways. Larry Mente's still with us. So what are you looking at when you look at all of this and the weekend and the headlines, even Saturday Night Live poking fun at the assassination? You know, is there any way that Trump or Republicans ever get a fair shake in the so-called mainstream media?
No. And by the way, it is getting back to Dan's question for a second. It's abhorrent that I understand why Joe Biden's not going down there because He'd have to shuffle over in boots, and he'd probably fall in the water. But what Kamala Harris should be there. And watch, now that Trump's there, Little Miss Me Too will do it too. She follows everything he does and even takes some of his policies. But the mainstream media and getting to SNL, that was horrible. Mm-hmm. That was horrible that they made fun of it. And part of the reason they can get away with that is because we had an assassination attempt on a guy running for president, a former president, that was millimeters from blowing his head off. Yeah, just by an act of God, it didn't hit him. And it was a story for what? A week? That should have been a huge story, an amazing story, a bigger story. Then it happened again.
Yes.
And they've already forgotten it. It is because they don't want to make him a sympathetic character.
Yeah, and also the fact that, thank God nobody was injured in the Florida situation, but you think of Corey Comparator, who was killed. So the assassin did kill somebody. It just wasn't Trump. Injured, shot him, but he survived. And the other two gentlemen were in critical condition, and nobody talks about the fact that they're still recovering.
Yeah, no, and God bless you for keep bringing his name up. You should, and we all should. And I wish I would have remembered it, but thank you for bringing him up. I think people should remember that there was a person that died in all of that, because he's been forgotten too.
Well, and that's what struck me. One of his daughters put out a post on social media and said, it essentially was calling out the media, saying no one wants to remember the name of my dad, Corey Comparator. So I can't say his name enough. We all need to say his name. But yeah, to your point, Larry, shame on SNL and NBC for making light of...
Bing, bang, bing, bing, bing. Right.
It wasn't even funny. It's not even funny.
Yeah, no, and that's they make Trump look like a fool, and Kamala looks great.
Yeah.
They finally made fun of Biden, because I guess it's okay now that he's not running. All this time they made him look like a superhero, and now all of a sudden he's not running, and Dana Carvey's called in to make fun of him. Dana Carvey was brilliant, by the way. He was really good playing Biden.
He was. He's the best. We got to run. We're up against it, Larry Bear.
Oh, bye. Okay. Say goodbye to everybody. See you later.
Bye-bye.
He is a true
Safe
professional
travel.
there.
Yeah, I know.
You tell him it's time to go. Okay, bye. Bye.
Dan, I can't even keep up. We didn't even get to Melania. We didn't. There's so much that we have that we didn't. And thank you. You should see it's Dan's cut sheet. We'll have to do a leftover day.
We do have time to take Kevin real quick if you want.
Okay. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, how you doing? I'll make it real quick. So my three daughters, age 33, 26, and 18, remember, Chestnut Hill, she's a freshman there.
Yes.
All of them have been on the pill since forever and a day because of hormonal issues. The pain, the cramping, the flow, if I can be that specific, right? Just the fact that it's birth control is secondary. So there's no reason that this abortion thing should be a topic whatsoever, but it's fear porn, and that's all it is.
Yep.
Because a person is smart, people are stupid, and it's readily available all the time, and it can be free or maybe cost $4 a month.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, and it's medication for people to mitigate the situation. You're exactly right. Good for you, Kevin, that you're a great dad. See, that's my dad. We talked about stuff in our family. We were very real. My dad famously would go to Target. If the things were on with the wings, the pads were on sale, he'd fill the cart. And then my dad, who thinks he's a big comedian, would say, yeah, I'm buying for the convent. That's my dad. I don't know if Kevin goes that far, but that's my dad.
That's great.
I don't know. I needed to laugh a little bit. Kevin, thank you for calling. And that's Kevin Poles, by the way. That's our great Kevin, who created GregStockerSucks.com, which is a fundraiser for the families of the fallen, we might add.
Board full of callers still. Sincerest
Oh my
apologies
gosh,
to
I'm
everybody.
so sorry. There was just so much, and in between I was just trying to update. So we could have a strike looming that could happen 12:01. We have the Veep debate that I did talk about much earlier this morning with Harris and Vance, And we have Dom Giordano, the great, the one and only Dom.
Well, thank you, Don. We have Michael Watley. He's from North Carolina on, and there's a lot of comparison going on with what they're doing with North Carolina versus all the money to Ukraine. And we had a little bit of that report from ICE the other day. Why did they release it? It's becoming apparent.
Yes. And we have to make sure that we keep promoting because Linda Kearns told us you're doing a big Protect the Vote.
Oh, the Zoom call. Yes. I'm working it up now, my fight song. We're going to need some help on this. Yeah.
Yes, so we'll promote that. Great Dom show just ahead.
Hey, it's Greg with Kale & Company. Cap off the NFL Week 4 slate with a chance for a big win on FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino. It's America's #1 sportsbook. You can get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet on tonight's game. Check out this same game parlay for tonight's Monday Night Football game, the Seahawks at the Lions. How about David Montgomery for an